Because, I mean, as I said, everything is energy, and that's the way we have to look at things, and that's the way we have to focus our attention on things. And it's no good hating anybody. It really isn't. You can't hate the people that are doing this. You've got to understand that everything is balanced, and that everything occurs for a reason. There's also another young man who also died recently. It's funny how people, when they investigate these wonderful things and they come up with this wonderful information that could change the direction of humanity, they mysteriously die. And I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but it seems to be that life-changing information may be terminal for people who get the information out to large amounts of humanity, unfortunately. But the person I'm talking about was a young researcher from England, and his name is Rick Clay. He did a lot of work into 2012 and exploring things into 2012. He did a lot of research on the Olympics. He looked into the Illuminati, and he also suggested that there was nothing to fear, and things were, you know, even though these people have bad plans, everything is as it should be, because their plans are going to come to naught because people are waking up, and it's the age of ethics. And I believe that's the way you have to look at things. You have to try to keep a positive slant on all of this. But again, be prepared. Don't not be prepared. Whatever you do, don't not be prepared. Don't let people come and walk over you. I mean, I preach a lot of love, and I preach a lot of harmony, and I say that there is no need for any violence or bullets or guns or revolutions of violent kind or anything. But by the same token, I mean, I see the necessity to protect oneself. And should anyone try to come and make you do anything by force, well, I am a full advocate of self-defense in any situation. But again, if you do so, if you are forced to defend yourself in any situation, don't do it out of hate for the attackers. Do it out of love for yourself and love for your family, and do it because it's necessary. Now, if you find you can approach it like that, then you know, you find you won't even raise a sweat doing it, and it'll become like intuition. And again, don't hate your attackers, because that will just weaken you, because that's all your hatred affects. It doesn't affect your attackers. When you get angry, when you get hateful, when you really want to get these guys, whoever's coming to get you, it just weakens yourself. That's not the emotion you should be in. Instead, think how powerful you are. Think how wonderful you are. Think how wonderful this entire world is and how wonderful your family is as you do what is necessary. That's the way to approach it, because that way that you keep your inner strength. You know, and you can guarantee that the guy that's the stormtrooper or the whoever is coming to instill this fear into you, you can guarantee that he's doing it from a state of anger. So he's instantly weakening himself straight away. So you've automatically got the upper hand if you approach it from that perspective. That's the way it works. It's all about energy. Notice the patterns, see how they do it, just see how they go about this stuff. Some of the other things that Rick Clay, this young British researcher, said was he was very interested in the bloodlines, and the ancient bloodlines, and in the path of Zion, the things that the Zionists have been doing around the planet. As we know, anybody that's done any investigation into this, the Zionist arm of the Illuminati, I mean, and it's all one thing. I mean, I look at the whole thing as just one big conglomerate, and the Zionists work hand in hand with everybody else. I mean, it's all the one thing. And Zionism actually is quite relevant at the moment, because there are a reasonable amount of Zionists in the Obama administration. So we sort of have to look at what these people's plans are. And he found some remarkable information about the Olympics in London, and how the logo actually breaks down to spell Zion. He found all sorts of biblical references around the Olympic site in London, and some quite remarkable information. Like, too much for me to tell you about here, but very, very remarkable information. Actually, if you go to my website, thecrowhouse.com, and you click on the forum link, go into the forums there, you will find on the video board, you'll find a thread called A Visual Walk Through the Research of Rick Clay. And that's a video, a YouTube video that was done by a friend of mine. It'll take you about an hour to watch, maybe a little longer. And remarkable information from a very, very talented young man, and a great loss to the research community. He died last year around August or September, I believe. And yeah, I'm sure you will find that to be of great interest. So, something I want to tell people, I mean, there's a lot of people that are trying to tell you this information. It's been going on a long, long time. I'm still getting people saying, writing to me and saying, look, do you really think the Illuminati is real? And well, folks, I mean, it gets to a stage where you just don't know how to convince these people. I mean, the Illuminati is real, folks. There are people that are in control here, okay? I mean, there's some things about your world that you really, really need to understand, and that is that there are 13 families who run the banking and political system and virtually the entire global industrial complex, and that these families and the immediate network that they've created around themselves, it's like the mob, okay? They're a criminal cabal, if you will, and they've placed themselves above all laws in all countries. And it's a group of families, and through their agents and provocateurs, they have created conflicts and then armed and financed both sides of all wars for a profit since the French and American revolutions, and probably even longer. And at the end of each conflict, right, both sides are left in huge debts to these same families, because these are the bankers. See, the bankers create the wars, they finance both sides of the war, then each country is left in debt to the banks. It's just this ever-going circle. And through this method, the Rothschilds and the other Illuminati families have garnered over half of the world's total wealth, okay? They've just got everything. And now we are left here, living in this temporary accommodation, these little prefab gyprock homes packed into compact cities, and we're given this worthless paper to carry around that's completely and utterly worthless. It's a fiat currency. There's no value behind it. And we've got to work on the grindstone and get all of our sweat and labour, and a third of everything we earn goes back to these bankers still. It all goes back there through the completely corrupt and illegal taxation system. Now, looking back to 1933, I seem to recall that everybody handed in their gold in 1933 because the countries went bankrupt. There was no money left, so everybody had to hand in their gold, and the governments kept the gold. Now, because the governments now have the gold, they have all the money, it is their duty by law to supply everything to the people. Because the government's subservient to us, the people are sovereign. See, I keep saying this to people, you've got to understand this, the people are sovereign. So, because the government, this corrupt government run by these corrupt bankers, forced the entire country into bankruptcy, now the government has to supply the people to pay off its bankruptcy. Okay? So, this is what I'm saying to people, that everything in the stores is already paid for. It's already paid for by the labour of the people who create it. So we're supposed to still be going about our jobs and doing all our things, but we don't have to pay for items that we go and pick up. That's the way it's supposed to be. But they've tricked us into thinking we do, and they've given us this fiat currency to pass around to do it. And they milk us of our wealth while they do it. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And all the money that's in circulation, I mean, sure, the Federal Reserve prints it up, but we actually create that money ourselves when we sign things. When you go and take out a loan, you create the money yourself. So there is no debt. You don't owe anything for taking out a loan. You actually go and create the money as a sovereign person of that country. That's the way it works. So it's a big scam, folks. So there is something going on, okay? And you're not told any of this, because these people control all the mainstream media, because they control all the money, okay? And they also control all the food, all the resources, all the industry, all the arms, all the illegal drugs, all the illegal human trafficking, all the prostitution, and they own everybody who is in a key position of power in any political situation. So do you fully understand what that means? Do you see a conflict of interest here? Okay? Just sort of dwell on that for a little bit. Okay, they make trillions upon trillions and trillions of dollars from the control and the suffering of others, and you only get to elect those candidates that they select for you to elect. Okay, now again, does anybody see a conflict of interests here? Okay.